Shalom upon all the children of Israel and Judah forever. So, yes, man was created, woman was made, and marriage is our number one problem among us, the children of Judah, also called Negroes today, because we have no proper godly family structure, which is the root of all the community problems. Every problem you see in society, in the nation, here in St. Lucia, everywhere around the world, is because most of us come from no proper godly family structure. Marriage is only for virgins because the woman is born with a seal on her vagina. The man who breaks that seal is the husband. However, you have today many women breaking women's seal and forming that bond. Um, well, women, you never forget your first, right? You know how they say you never forget your first. And so every DNA of a man that enters into you stays in your bones forever. It never leaves. Every man you ever had sex with remains your husband, therefore you become called an adulterer, according to the scriptures. And in the animal kingdom, among dogs, they're called a bitch. Marriage is not a government application or a license. That is not a biblical or godly marriage. That you're married to the state when you do that. That's the worst thing any man should ever do. The law of Moses from the Creator is that the man writes and gives a certificate of marriage and give it to her in her hand. So, his penis enters her sealed vagina and his certificate in her hand, and that is the true biblical marriage. It's recorded, and you can have witnesses and have your feast and all of that. But how many of you women today are married to your first lover, the first man you had sex with? See, you haven't been taught right. And that's what I'm here for, to teach you the right way. Therefore, Scripture uses the words wife and concubine. If you were a virgin, you become a wife. If you are not a virgin, you become a concubine. That's where those words come from. 80% of marriage fail because of you women, because you have had multiple men and their personalities come place inside of you from all his spirits. You know, a man's sperm is made from his spirit, his soul. That's why a woman thinks like the man or men that has been inserted into her. So only widows, war brides, divorcees, and Levitical law of brothers who died are allowed to marry a second time, have a second man. Widows, war brides, divorcees, and the Levitical law of brothers. Now the widows are those who you married, your husband died, so now you're free to marry another man in Yeshua HaMashiach, Jesus Christ. War brides are women who were captured from a war. A man see a woman when he's fighting a war of the other people he was fighting and he wanted to marry her. He would have her cut all her hair off, that's the scripture, cut off all her nails and mourn for the loss of her previous life for 30 days, and then he can enter into her and she becomes his wife. The Levitical law of the brothers is if a man died and he had another brother and he had no children with her, then the brother can come and raise up seed in the name of the first brother, and she can have that second husband in that case. So you women who screwing around and just having sex, you're not qualified for marriage. You can only be a concubine. So men, you must establish your income and land ownership with a house on it before you get your virgin. And you men must stay virgin. Women must remain a virgin before you get married. And you must know how to cook and clean, manage a house, give your hymen to your husband. And that's the only way you become a true wife. Exodus chapter 21, verse 7, and Matthew chapter 25, verses 1 to 13, is the law of polygyny, which means that in Yah's kingdom, in the Most High, the Creator's kingdom, a man can marry as many wives that he can afford. Oh, by the way, common law wives are biblical concubine wives. So if you are married, so-called, in the eyes of a government, and you had sex with a man before that husband, or two or three or four, how many? You're only a biblical concubine. You're not a wife. Until next time, shalom upon all the children of Israel and Judah forever.